What's going on, everybody? Oh man, welcome back to My Political Truth, and my name is Jerry Tomchinsky. And again, it just seems. Excuse me one second. Okay. The My Political Team. Sorry about that. So, so what are we going to talk about today? Do we know? Um, do we need to guess? Is it a wonder? We knew that there was going to be what they called an October surprise, right? We knew that was coming, but you hear all these rumors time after time, and you don't. After a while, I start to lose faith that people are actually that something's actually going to happen, and people are going to go down. And now, after what happened yesterday, if you guys don't know, Hunter Biden, we have another email situation, and it is, excuse me, I got this ridiculous fly right around me, and it's driving me crazy. Um, so I feel like Mike Pence right now. But anyway, so this is another email story. Remember, we had another email story 4 years ago with Hillary, and nothing, she's still living in freedom. She's still okay. Everything is good. And listen, somebody needs to go down immediately. And if somebody doesn't go down, honestly, I don't think the Department of Justice has the right to prosecute anybody ever again if these people don't go down for this. So, real quick, for those that don't know what happened, and for those that were not there anywhere yesterday to see this, because everywhere you turned, there it was, except, your usual suspects. So, Hunter Biden, this guy, a few years back, well, no, last year, April of last year, 2019, he had a laptop issue, which, everybody has. You bring it to the repair guy, they fix it, you pay for it, you pick it up. This halfwit decided not to pick up 3 laptops that he dropped off to this particular repair shop in Delaware, right? So this gentleman, who unfortunately is legally blind, so he can't positively identify Hunter Biden as being the person that dropped off these laptops. But these laptops had a sticker from the Beau Biden Foundation. Okay, so come December, nobody picks up these laptops, and with businesses like that, the way it works is if you don't pick it up after a certain period of time, the owners basically confiscate it. They have ownership. Hey guys, welcome everybody. John, Unc, Charles, Jim, Ed, Mark, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. So nobody picks up these laptops, and this gentleman takes full possession of them. After he takes possession of them, he dives into them, which he has every right to do because they are now his property. And what does he discover? A crap ton of incriminating evidence on Hunter Biden, a ton of evidence completely showing Joe Biden to be the liar that we all know that he is. So what this gentleman did, like any upstanding American who has been taught, if you have a problem, you go to the authorities. And this is what this man did. And he went to the FBI thinking, this is an organization that's supposed to be nonpartisan. I don't know where he was at that time, and he didn't see what was going on with Comey and the State Department and all the lies. And he's probably a Democrat, because if he didn't have the common sense that, hey, maybe the FBI can't be trusted at this time, and maybe I should go to the DOJ, or maybe I should go over their head. And the fact that they aren't and weren't trustworthy, this is exactly what happened. He gives them the laptops. They take possession of these laptops. Thank God he made a copy of all 3 hard drives. The FBI basically buried it. They buried it. Believe me when I tell you, our FBI at the present is another arm for the propaganda machine that is the DNC. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear any of you anymore. Any more Biden supporters, unfriend me, block me, get the F off of my timeline. I do not want to hear a damn thing about Biden and how he's good and how he's better than President Trump. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You got nothing for me. You have nothing for me. Take a walk. Take a walk. So the FBI decides to completely break this man's trust, break his heart, and completely scare the ever-loving hell out of him because, again, people aren't stupid. They know that if you mess with certain parts of the government, you tend to commit suicide by jumping into a trunk and shooting yourself 10 times. It's called Clinton-side. Everybody knows how this goes. So the man, rightfully so, was scared. Hey, Ma, welcome. So when he saw that the FBI wasn't doing a thing, nobody was doing their job, he went to somebody that he thought he could trust, that would do the right thing with this. He went to Rudy Giuliani. And I know what some of you are going to say, oh, Rudy Giuliani is with President Trump. Yeah, I know. And I heard some idiot Democrat, and I'm sorry, if you're a Democrat and you're voting for that side, I'm going to call you an idiot. Even if I don't know you, you're an idiot. Because if you can vote for the Democrats, I'm not saying that you're supposed to love Trump. By no means are you supposed to love Trump. But how can a morally upstanding person, somebody that claims to be morally upstanding, how can a morally upstanding person vote for anybody that has a little D next to their name? Tell me that. How can you explain that to me? There isn't a single person breathing that I've confronted for a conversation about politics that can give me a fair reason as to why they're voting for Joe Biden. This was before this nonsense came about. Now after this, I'm sorry, guys. If you are going to vote for Joe Biden, with all due respect, unfriend me, block me, get rid of me, get away from me. Get away from me. You guys are worse than COVID. You're worse than the coronavirus. Believe that. Somebody had the audacity to utter that this is a conspiracy theory created by the Republicans, used by the New York Post, which is a conservative newspaper. Really? Really? So when we say that the Communist News Network and MSDNC and the New York Slimes and the Washington Compost and the crap-ass Drudge Report, all those, when we say that they're a Democratic shill, everybody denies it. One story comes out completely decimating the entire Democratic Party, and believe me when I tell you, it's the whole Democratic Party because it starts from the top and goes all the way to the bottom. So, Hunter Biden was heavily involved with the Ukraine, with China, apparently Russia, and God knows how many other countries he has finagled because of his father's position. There's no other reason. He had an interview on ABC News or NBC News. It was like a year to the day. Go look it up. The lady asked him, Hunter, do you have any experience in natural gas? No. Why do you think you got the job? Do you think you got it because of your last name? He's like, well, I'd be stupid to think that I didn't get these positions because my father is the vice president. Really? We didn't know that. We didn't know that. There's absolutely no credibility for the Biden family, for the Democrat Party, for Kamala Harris. It just so happens that 2 campaign staffers got coronavirus, the dreaded air quotes, get coronavirus, and now no appearances till at least Sunday? A little too convenient, don't you think? They have nothing to say. I can't wait. This town hall is tonight. Joe Biden is going to go and speak with Stephanopoulos asking him the questions. I want to start a poll. I want to start a pool right now. Let's get some money up. Who thinks that Stephanopoulos is going to ask Joe Biden about this? I don't think he will, because Stephanopoulos isn't a journalist. It's not his job to ask that question, and that's the excuse he's going to say. He's going to say, I'm not a journalist, blah, 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 blah. They are corny. They're a joke. There's absolutely no kind of integrity or credibility or anything coming from that side. And now, the even bigger story, and what made this entire, I want to use bad words and I'm stumped, this entire S show became even a bigger deal when Facebook and Twitter completely censored everything. Completely censored everything. They said that they don't allow materials that have been hacked. Well, Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey, you both, let me tell you something. What should happen to Facebook and Twitter is that they should be sanctioned so hard by the American government, by the Department of Justice, by the Senate, by the Congress, whoever does these sanctions, need to sanction them so hard that they can't even rebound and continue operating these platforms. They don't deserve to operate these platforms. No way. And the fact that the New York Post got censored and not a single journalist that I guess we can associate with the Democrat side, the propaganda machines, not a single journalist stepped up and said, well, their opinions differ from ours or their stories differ from ours, but hey, free speech is free speech. Not a single cowardly journalist said a damn thing. Nothing. So let's refresh. It's okay to censor one of the biggest publications in the country. Make no mistake, the New York Post is one of the biggest, most successful publications in the country. Make no mistake about that. And they censor it, and then they get caught the same day. They get a letter from the Senate, and Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, comes out and says the way they handled it was unacceptable. He has to say that. And what did they do today? They completely blocked President Trump's campaign account. Okay? So let me read you this letter that the United States Senate, Senator Josh Hawley, wrote to Mark Zuckerberg yesterday. Dear Mr. Zuckerberg, today the New York Post released a very revealing, a story revealing, that Hunter Biden facilitated a meeting with a Ukrainian energy executive and his father, who was then serving as vice president. In it, the Post offers evidence that directly contradicts the claim the Democratic nominee for president, who had previously stated that he has, quote, never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. Yet it has come to my attention that this news report, one clearly relevant to the public interest, has been censored on Facebook. That's the first part of the letter, right? So, my problem is this, okay? What they are saying, and when I say they, I mean Facebook. What Facebook and Twitter are saying is that it's not a credible story, right? Okay. Let's refresh once again. A few months back, we had to deal with this ridiculous article from The Atlantic magazine claiming that President Trump called dead veterans, quote, suckers and losers, end quote. That journalist that wrote that, and I'm not going to name him because he doesn't deserve that credit because he fabricated the entire thing. He stated that he had 5 unnamed sources. That was his only frame of reference. It was 5 unnamed secret sources. No other backup, no other documentation. And then it was printed, blasted, posted, and went viral everywhere. Within an hour, there was scumbags on CNN, MSNBC, blah, 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 talking about the president, this, that, and the third. I'm sorry. I'm really, really angry about this. I just came back from a full day of work. I'm exhausted, but I needed to talk about this today. So that story was acceptable, right? If you guys remember, it was only, a month or two ago? It was blasted all over Twitter. It was blasted all over Facebook. No problem. Now, the New York Post comes out with this article with documented evidence, emails, pictures, etc. And these animals at Facebook and Twitter decide that they're going to censor them for this? For this. Did you happen to see the level of evidence yesterday? Yesterday was Ukraine. Today was China. Yesterday, Ukraine. Today, China. Let's talk about Ukraine real quick. So before I get into this, let me tell you about the cast of characters, and then you can kind of follow the way this goes down and the way this happened, and the things that we need to pay attention to when I go through the details here. So obviously, first there's Hunter Biden. I'll give you a little description of him if you don't know. Obviously, Joe's son and Yale-educated attorney who was a lobbyist while his father was a senator. Quit lobbying and founded investment and advisory firm Rosemont Seneca with John Kerry's stepson, Christopher Hines, and Kerry advisor Devon Archer, and also became lawyer with Boies Schiller Flexner, now living in Los Angeles with second wife and sixth child after rehab for crack addiction several times. Hey, Kerry. Yeah, I saw. Rudy said he's got stuff for days, and I couldn't wait another day. I had to come on here and talk about this. Okay, next. We got Burisma Holdings, Ukrainian natural gas producer founded by Mykola Zlochevsky, who was Minister of Natural Resources under Ukraine's President Viktor Yanukovych, and was deposed in early 2014 in a revolution. That April, Hunter Biden was appointed to Burisma's board to, quote, improve corporate governance, end quote, and at the same time, Britain's Serious Fraud Office accused the oligarch and his company of money laundering. This has been the subject of an on-again, off-again investigation by Ukrainian prosecutors. If you remember, when Joe Biden was there, and what Joe Biden said is, if you don't fire this prosecutor, Viktor Shokin, in the next 6 hours before I leave here, you're not getting the $1 billion. And what did Joe say? Quote, well, son of a bitch, they fired him. Come on. Next, we got Vadim Pozharskyi. He was the number 3 on the board of Burisma. Number 3 in charge. That's basically, he was the Nancy Pelosi of Burisma, so to speak. He personally thanked Hunter in an April 2015 email for the, quote, opportunity to meet his father, then the vice president. He said, quote, Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to D.C. and giving me the opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It's really an honor and a pleasure. That's directly from that email, word for word. An earlier email back to May 2014 shows that same guy, Vadim Pozharskyi, says to Hunter Biden, quote, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? So, let's refresh. He thanked him for introducing him to Joe Biden. You know, the same Joe Biden that said he knew nothing of his son's business dealings in either Ukraine or China or whatever. And when he was asked, Joe was asked, you don't think there's a whiff of impropriety in this? And Joe said, no, Hunter's a bright guy. If he's bright, then who's dim? Just a question. Just a question. All right, so next in these cast of characters, we got, like I mentioned, Viktor Shokin. He's the controversial Ukrainian prosecutor general from February 2015 until March 2016, when Joe Biden blackmailed, quid pro quo, whatever you want to call it, the Ukrainian president at the time, Petro Poroshenko, told them, you won't be getting $1 billion from us if you don't get rid of this guy. The hell do you think happened? You know exactly what happened. 6 hours later, the guy's gone. And they want to impeach President Trump for some quid pro quo. What I've learned about the Democrats, whatever they accuse President Trump or the Republicans of, they've already done tenfold. Tenfold. My God almighty. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. It's just the fact that there were still people online, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on, not really Parler, because that has credibility, that was sticking up for Joe Biden and said, well, I'm not voting for Hunter. It's not the point. Not the point. All of you windbags that still support Biden and Harris are missing the entire point. The point is, just like, hold on, we got Karina just joined the room and said Twitter is down. All right, let's take a look at this. Got my phone, let's take a look. I'm on Twitter right now. Hold on, let me try to tweet something real quick. Nope. Twitter is down, ladies and gentlemen. Twitter is down. Sorry about that glare. Wow. Wow. Good. Maybe I should finish this live before Facebook goes down. What do you guys think? Holy crap. Things are going to start moving. Things are going to, it's impossible for things not to start moving right now. Completely impossible. This is such a black mark on the Democrat Party. And truth be told, I think Obama right now is in a basement, not Joe's basement, in a different basement, on his knees, praying that this takes over everything and the new stuff that came out about Obama, Clinton, and of course Biden doesn't hit the media. But it will. Make no mistake, Barry, you're going down. Joe's going down. Hillary's going down. All of you are going down. All of you. So now today, we get more emails released. So not only was Hunter involved with and basically pilfering Ukraine, but he was also had his little hand in a cookie jar in China. Brittany comments, this shit is so sickening, pardon my language, I'm just quoting. This shit is so sickening, we are literally in the movie. Yeah, I mean, the movie. This is so far beyond the movie. I think the most creative writer in Hollywood couldn't write this nonsense. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And who I'm most embarrassed for are the people that still support these animals. That's who I'm embarrassed for. I'm disgusted by them. They're gross. They are absolutely gross. You know, I want to talk about something else real quick. There's going to be a lot more released, and I will certainly be coming here to discuss that. Don't worry about it, Brittany. You're allowed to curse. I just try not to. Brittany apologized for cursing. All good. I get that. It's all good. So I got people, you know who you are. I don't need to name your names, that decided to have a problem with what with the picture that I posted of the pictures of Hunter Biden in his full glory, crack pipe in mouth, blah, 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 blah. People had a problem with that because of certain things in the past that I'm associated with, that they're associated with, blah, blah. People get offended with your delicate sensibilities. Let me explain something to you. If you have the courage, the ability, the fortitude to change your life, but yet you don't, you still stay stuck in that hole that you put yourself into. Nobody else put you in there. That you put yourself into. And if you're still stuck there after years and years of misery and struggle and pain and hurt, and if you're still stuck there, it's nobody's fault but your own. And the fact that you can't accept criticism about some scumbag that you don't even know, that you're so butthurt that I came at him, I'll continue to come for him and anybody else. That's a threat to our national security. That's a threat to our way of life. That's a threat to our governance. I'm gonna come for them. You understand, and I hope that whoever made that comment about me on that post today is watching. Because you probably don't need to hear this from me because there's so many people that share this opinion. But that comment could not have been any dumber. Any dumber. And I get it. You're entitled to your opinion. I respect everybody's opinion. But to put me on blast on Facebook about something that I'm not ashamed of at all. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. Because I did what I would say 97% of people can't do and haven't done. And there's certain people in this room right now that know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, then you don't. It's not that important. It's really not. The reason that I did this, that I brought Hunter Biden and his emails and his pictures to attention, is because of his father, the presidential nominee on the Democratic side. Because his father continuously lies, Joe Biden continuously misrepresents, and when things come out in writing, proof, you're going to tell me that I can't say whatever I want? I don't allow Facebook to censor me. I'm going to let you censor me and make me think about what I'm going to say? You know me better than that. You got to know me. You spend time with me. Do you think that I will ever be influenced by anybody to say anything? I haven't, and I won't be. So you could take your opinions, and anybody that agrees with him, you could take your opinions, go to my Facebook page, and there's a button there. It says unfriend. Click it. And get away from me. Don't need you. Didn't then, don't now. A lot of people around me got angrier than I did. I don't get angry at stupid people anymore. I don't get angry at ignorance. How can you be angry at somebody that doesn't have the mental capacity to deal with the overabundance of things going on in this world right now? I'm absolutely not going to sit there and debate with you what I can and can't say. Because there's very few people that can control what I say. And when I say it and how I say it. And sometimes I make a mistake and say stuff I shouldn't have said. I'm human. We make mistakes. But I'll always own it. I'll always own it. If I even said something the wrong way, I'll say, hey, I said it the wrong way. My bad. What are you going to do? ladies and gentlemen, if the Department of Justice does not come down on the entire Biden campaign, the entire Biden sham of a presidential run, they can never, ever prosecute anybody ever again. Believe that. Guys, 30 minutes flies by. I didn't even expect to be here for 30 minutes, but thank you for joining me. Be back here tomorrow. I have a lot to talk about. I'll be here all weekend. We got less than 3 weeks till the election. I will be jumping on a little bit every day. I might not give you 30 minutes. I might give you 5. I might give you 10. I'm done with the 30-minute stuff. It just so happened to go 30 minutes today because I had a lot to talk about with this garbage email. I'm sorry about the glare. Apparently the sun sets in Florida around 6:30. Guys, thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow. Not sure what time. Just watch for my post. It'll probably be sometime it might be in the morning. Depends on what drops on the New York Post tomorrow in the morning. It might be in the morning. So if it is, I'll see you in the morning. If not, enjoy the rest of your night. If something breaks tonight, if something crazy happens at these town halls, I'll be on throughout. All right? Have a great night, everybody. Trump 2020.